Buying a home is a big decision, and it's especially difficult when you're relocating from another city altogether. We help clients all the time who are moving to Kansas City from all over, and there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Hi, I'm Mason Marrs, and this is my twin brother Micah. We're a local real estate team right here in Kansas City. Our team helps people relocate to the KC metro area, and if you're considering a move to Kansas City, we want to be your real estate agents. You can book a quick call with us using the link down in the description.
It would probably surprise you how many people have bought a house that they've never actually seen in person. A home is one of the largest purchases most people make in their lives, so the thought of doing that without ever setting foot inside sounds crazy and kind of risky, and yet we've been in situations where a buyer does exactly that. Some people see the home for the very first time after signing a contract to purchase it, and even scarier, some don't see it until after they've gotten the keys at the closing table.
There's a few reasons why someone might have to do something like this. Maybe they're moving for work and their company has given them a quick timeline to be there. We've also seen situations, especially in a competitive market, where homes are selling so fast that you don't have time to plan a trip to come see it before it sells. We've seen stuff like this happen more than you might think over the last 4 or 5 years, as things were selling super quick and buyers felt like they needed to jump quickly when they saw the right thing pop up. If a buyer really is at a time crunch, of course, we do everything we can to give them as much information as possible before they make a decision if they absolutely can't get here. We've done FaceTime showings, video walkthroughs, and even sent clients videos of nearby streets so they can get an idea about how busy a road may be during rush hour.
All of that is really great info to have, but there are still things you can't see, hear, or smell in a video for that matter. There's really no great substitute for being in the home in person. We've all been in those situations where you purchase something online that looks really great, but when you get it, it's not nearly as nice as you thought it would be. Houses can often look really great in pictures, but be kind of underwhelming when you're standing in them, which is why we always recommend you take the time to plan a trip to come see the home in person.
If you absolutely can't come to town, maybe you have family or friends in the area that you trust who can be your eyes and ears so you can get a better sense of what a particular home is like beyond what a video and photos can show you. Of course, you really have to trust this person, but this can be a nice alternative if you absolutely can't break away for a trip in person.
All right, the next mistake we see people make is putting themselves in a big time crunch. Some people wait until after their current house is already on the market and under contract, and then call us and say, we need to find a new house in Kansas City and we have 30 days to do it. While this isn't entirely impossible, it's definitely not ideal because it can add a lot of stress for you trying to find the right home in a short amount of time. Couple that with the stress of selling your current home and it can all snowball pretty quickly. We always recommend that you start planning your move as early as you can. We've even had people reach out to us a year, sometimes more in advance, so we can begin to help them plan for the areas they might want to land in and what they're looking for in their next home. We want to make sure you have a really great experience relocating here, and we want to make sure you're really happy throughout the whole process. Some people start to feel a lot of pressure if they're not finding the right home they want because they realize that they're about to be homeless in this new city, and we don't want that for you. Giving yourself plenty of time to look for a new place can eliminate a lot of this.
The process to close on a home takes about 30 days from the time you find the home you love and sign a contract. This means that we need to allow even more time on the front end to identify the right house and area for you. In some cases, if we have a really great lender and a great title company, we can shrink that timeline a bit, but giving yourself more time just gives you more options. Some buyers choose to do multiple exploratory trips to look at homes in different areas and really take time to drill down on exactly where they want to be. Others come to KC for one weekend and by the time they leave, they're under contract on a new home. Every person has their own comfort level in terms of how much information they want before they make a decision like that. So you have to decide which strategy is best for you. I can tell you, we've done it both ways before. And for the most part, the more time clients had to research different areas and really nail down what they're looking for, the happier they were in the end.
The good news for you is that because of how the market is moving here, we're starting to see more offers accepted from buyers that have contingencies built in for the sale of their home in the city they're moving from. This gives you a little bit more flexibility and a bit of a safety net if you end up not being able to sell your house before you move here.
Typically, the easiest and smoothest way is to line up the sale of your old home with the purchase of your new home here in KC. This allows you to take all of those proceeds from the sale and roll them right into the next house, and most of the time makes for a really smooth transition. In order to do this though, and make sure things flow as smoothly as possible, we need to work closely with the agent who's helping you sell your house so we can help line up the timelines and other details of the contract for the home you're buying here. And that's why it's super important that you reach out to us early, even before you start down the road with an agent in the city you live in now, so we can make sure there's a great plan in place to help you get where you want to be.
Another really big mistake we see people make is not having a solid plan for their job before they move here. Unless you're massively independently wealthy, you likely need some kind of employment, and you want to make sure that the lender is well aware of what your employment situation looks like now and how it may change when you move. Maybe a new job opportunity is what's bringing you to Kansas City in the first place, and in that case, you're going to need a job offer letter or transfer paperwork or something that says you're going to be working in Kansas City now and lists all the details of your employment. It's important that the lender has all the details they need about the new job so they can qualify you correctly. We don't want to see the contract on your dream home blow up because the lender couldn't count all the income right. Even if you're staying within the same company, it's important that the lender is in the loop so things run smoothly.
I know a lot of companies have moved to a hybrid work model, and some went completely remote after COVID. If you work for a company that allows you to work from home and you're moving to Kansas City, you'll want to make sure you can work from home from here. The lender may even need to see a letter from your employer saying that they allow you to work in that same position from anywhere. Some companies say, yeah, you can work from home, but you have to work in this state. If there's something like that at your company, you want to find out early on so you can either change your moving plans or maybe find a different job. The next mistake we've seen clients make is underestimating just how much it costs to take everything you own and put it in trucks and move to a completely new city. The great thing about Kansas City is that we're practically right in the middle of the country, so we're pretty evenly spaced from wherever you may be coming from. But doing this is still very expensive. You should honestly just sell all your stuff and buy new stuff when you get here. I'm kidding, of course, but I think once a lot of people get quotes for what it will cost to move everything they own, the idea of selling everything and starting over doesn't sound so bad. You'll want to make sure you get a quote for this early on so you can decide what things to take with you and what you may rather leave behind.
You may also have certain upgrades in mind for your new place, like appliances and furniture, and if you spend a good chunk of change on moving all your current stuff, you may not want to spend additional cash on the things you really want for the new place. We always recommend that people think all of this through and come up with a plan for how they plan to move all of their stuff, so you don't get hit with a shock of a moving quote from a company 2 weeks before you're supposed to be here.
The final big mistake we see people make when they relocate to KC is not taking the time to really research the area they want to land in. Kansas City isn't as big as some other major cities around the country, but the metro area is still pretty spread out. Taking the time to really nail down exactly which part of the city you want to live in is crucial.
Kansas City actually spans 2 states, so the first question most clients have to answer is which side of the state line do they want to live on. Both states have plenty of suburbs to choose from, and each offer something a little different. If you want to live closer to options for restaurants, entertainment, and shopping, you may want to consider living on the Missouri side of Kansas City. This is where you'll find shopping and entertainment districts like the River Market, Power and Light, and the Country Club Plaza. Most of the major sports teams are also on the Missouri side, so living on that side can make it a little easier to catch a game.
There's some great suburbs on the Kansas side though. Some of them tend to be a little pricier in terms of the cost of housing and higher taxes, but areas like Overland Park, Olathe, and Shawnee offer a ton to do. We always recommend you take an exploratory trip so you can check out some of these areas for yourself and decide which one may be best for you. Taking the time to do a little bit of research on the front end makes it way easier on you when you start your home search. And when you are ready to buy, we're licensed in both states, so we can help no matter where you want to land. You can click the link in the description to book a call with us so we can get all of your questions answered. And make sure to subscribe because we have weekly videos for you about all things Kansas City. We actually have a full breakdown comparing the pros and cons of living on both the Missouri side or the Kansas side of Kansas City. Check it out now and let us know what you think.